Sam Snape is a singer and songwriter from the Northwest Slopes and Plains of New South Wales. Earlier this year, he appeared on Australian Idol, and he has had two singles out this year, My Country Song and his latest, Old Dog, Old Ute, Old Hat. There's a few things in there to speak about. Hello, Sam.
Hey Sophie, how you going?
I'm very well, thank you. How is life in Boggabri at the moment?
Yeah, no, really good, really good. We've everything's looking pretty good out there at the moment on the farm. It's all green and got all the crops in looking good. So yeah, very happy.
So the rain has come when it's meant to come this year.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we've had a fair bit of rain recently, which is really good. So can't complain there. Yeah,
You grew up with this lifestyle, right? You grew up on the land and
that's
pretty
right.
close to you are now.
Yep. So I grew up out at Malali, so yeah, about an hour away from where I'm here at the moment in Boggabri, and same sort of thing, just cropping and a bit of livestock and whatnot. And that's sort of what I've done. Well, that's always been like what I've sort of done my whole life. I did go and get a apprenticeship as a boilermaker, and yeah, and now I'm back on the farm again and singing a few songs.
You are
So
singing a few songs, and as someone who
yeah,
grew up on and lives on the land, I'm interested to ask you what country music means to you, because I think it can mean really different things to people who are actually working on the country and living on the land.
yeah. So I don't know. I've always loved country music. I suppose it's just what I know really. Like it was when I was in nappies sort of thing. It used to just get played all the time. Like we did a lot of long trips in the car going like into town and whatnot into Gunnedah. So yeah, good hour trips there and back. And the country music would be just going all the time on the cassette player or something. And it's just what it means to me. I suppose it's just my life. I suppose. Yeah. I don't know.
So what were on those cassettes? What was on those cassettes, I should say, that you were listening to in the car? Which artists were they?
Like Alan Jackson, Brooks and Dunn. I'm a big fan of Garth Brooks. Them sorts of things. Like there was a few, like, and then there are a couple like Adam Harvey and Troy Cassar-Daley and like Lee Kernaghan, like the Australian fellas. Like yeah, them sorts of artists. So yeah.
So you have a lovely singing voice, a particular vocal style. Which singers do you think influence your, or maybe I should ask you, which singers did you start singing along to when you were little?
Probably definitely Garth Brooks. I reckon. I feel like I can take off quite a few of his songs pretty good, and I've had a few good comments. Actually, I've had a few comments say they reckon I could sound a bit like Keith Urban as well, but I don't know.
I actually did hear a little bit of the Keith tone in your voice, but it could just be the range you sing in, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. That's probably more so it. But
Well, look, it would be hard to maintain the Adam Harvey deep voice, I reckon. So he can keep it. You can have your tone.
That's right. Yeah.
Now you are situated technically between Gunnedah and Narrabri, but you are not too far from Tamworth, the country music capital. Did you grow up going to the festival?
Little bits and pieces. We never had a lot, even though we're only sort of hour and a half or so away from Tamworth. We never had a lot. Like we'd go over there and you'd walk up the street and sort of see all the buskers and whatnot, but I never actually got involved on nothing really over there younger. When I was younger, like I used to play the guitar. I always felt a bit shy and whatnot to play in front of people, and it's only like the last probably 6 years I reckon I've actually had the confidence to get up and start singing in front of people, and it's what I really love doing. And I wish I did get into it when I was younger, sort of more thing. But yeah, country music festival, like it was never a big thing. It was just something we'd go and do, like just because it was there, I suppose. Yeah.
So at what age did you pick up the guitar?
I was in year 5, I remember. I had guitar lessons from a guitar teacher for a couple of years, and then he went away, and then that was sort of it. I sort of was on and off from the guitar from there, and I always loved it. I love playing music, and there's probably more so actually when I was probably younger. I probably I would have been probably before school. I remember going to Grandma and Grandpa's. They had a big old piano sitting there as you walked in the door, and I was always obsessed with the piano. Like, there was always music there, and Grandpa, he used to come up and sort of half play a few notes with me, and then he'd hum a song, and I'd sort of just start playing the notes, and I could realise that the notes sounded the same as how he'd hum it, and then that's how. So he always said I learnt by ear, sort of thing, and like it was. It's probably started there really, but.
So when you learned to play guitar, were you listening to songs and trying to play them on the guitar?
Yeah, always. Yep. Mum would always play songs just on the CD or whatever, and I'd be always playing along, and Mum would be singing along, like she'd be singing, and I'd be there trying to play along with the CD or whatever on the guitar. Yeah, it'd work, but
So your mum must have been pretty pleased though to have her own accompanist.
yeah, she loved it. She's always been behind it, which is great. So yeah, she loves it, loves the music.
Yeah. So you said that you only got the confidence to start playing in front of people 6 years ago. What happened 6 years ago that changed?
Well, I think it was just, I don't know. I might have been just before we started having kids, I reckon. So I don't know whether I just got to a point in life where I thought, like, bugger it, like why not sing? Just get in and have a crack, and it's sort of haven't looked back since. Like, it's just, yeah, I just wish I'd done it earlier.
Well, I guess everything happens in its own time, and
it does.
You reached a point in life where you thought, well, what am I worried about? So that was
That's
obviously
right.
the right point for you.
Yeah, that's exactly, that's how I look at it too. So yeah.
So when you decided to start performing in front of people, did you go to the local pub? What sort of gigs were you playing?
Actually, I went to, so my in-laws are fairly heavily involved. We have like a thing out here in Bogabri. It's called the Drovers Campfire, and a lot of caravanners and everything come from all around and join together. I think the biggest they got might have been 450 caravans or something there one year. Anyway, they have a bit of a stage, and people can sort of get up and have a bit of a sing. And anyway, a few of them said, "Why don't you get up and play a few songs? Like, get up on the stage and play a few. Like, now you're playing a few." And I had a little bit of a set list, so I just got up and started playing a few songs, obviously, and then a few people really liked it. And then one lady actually reached out to me and said, "Oh, I know a lady in Gunnedah that has a restaurant, and she'd really love you if you went in there and played music." So it sort of started there, and I went in there and then played a bit of music at a restaurant. I think it might have been a Mother's Day function or something. And then someone else seen me from there. Then it just slowly got bigger and sort of like further and further from there. And then pubs were getting on to me, and then wet people for weddings and birthday parties. Anyway, so it's just going on and on. So yeah, which is awesome. I love being able to do that and just make people happy, I suppose, and just get good positive comments about it. So anyway.
So how many songs are in your repertoire now?
I think I got about 80 songs, I reckon. So that's all cover songs, obviously, and I've got a few of my own, a couple of my own, but yeah, it's just been all covers for so long. So
is there one artist in particular that you like to cover? I'm guessing Garth Brooks might be on the list of covers.
That's right. Yeah, Garth Brooks, obviously, like Alan Jackson, like I said, and I've got a couple of Brooks and Dunns, and I sing quite a few of Keith Urban's. I also I try and just sort of cater for everyone, because not everyone really likes country music. So I play, like, I just sort of call it like pub classic songs, sort of, I don't know, Creedence, bit of Creedence, and I know there's a Zach Bryan, like Something in the Orange, like everyone's been sort of singing that lately, so I give it a crack, and like this, just sort of everything really, whatever anyone wants to hear, I try and have a crack at it.
I think part of the tricky thing maybe when you're an artist in that position is that, from what I've observed, so many people walk up and request things, and of course you cannot know every song in the world. Is there any song that's really, really stumped you when someone's requested it?
Oh, it's heaps of songs. I couldn't actually even tell you off the top of my head. I don't know, maybe like when someone comes up and says like Pitbull or something, like Timber or something, you know what I mean? But I've had a crack at it. I did have a go at it, but I don't know, them crazy songs, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not a human jukebox. It's not like you can go, oh yes, well, I inherently know the chords.
Yeah,
I'll give it a go.
that's right. Yeah, you're not with it anyway. People seem to think you are, but anyway.
Now, from 6 years ago, being the start of your performing life, you have accelerated, because earlier this year you were on Australian Idol. So what was it like auditioning for that show?
It was awesome. I've seen the audition thing come up actually on Facebook there one night, and my wife actually seen it as well, and we sort of both seen it together, and she was like, "You need to have a go at this." And I thought, yeah, I feel like I want to have a go. Like, I seen it the year before, and I'd watched a few people on the show, and I thought, there was one bloke in particular, he was doing pretty much exactly what I do. And I thought, surely if he's having a go at it, I'm going to have a crack at it. So anyway, I did, and it all just happened to fall into place, and it just, it was really good, the audition side of it. So.
And the TV experience in general, did you think, yes, I'm quite comfortable with this?
Yeah, Well, that's the first time I've ever done anything of that sort of thing. Well, probably first and sort of it's been the only time really that I've done that to that extreme. And I was a bit, yeah, it was a bit out of my comfort zone to start with. I feel like I could probably get used to it after a while, but it was just, lots of cameras in your face and this and that. And like what you sort of see on TV, obviously is nowhere near what actually is behind the scenes. Like there's a lot that goes on sort of thing. And but yeah, it was great. I've got nothing bad to say about it all. I was really lucky because they flew me and my wife and kids down as well. I got 4 little kids, so we all went down and on the plane, and they gave us a room for a couple of nights. They paid for everything, all the food and everything. It was a great experience. Kids had a ball, so yeah, which was good. So,
what do they think about you being a musician? I mean, because I think kids can be quite blasé. They're like, oh yeah, it's just what dad does, whatever.
pretty much, but they do love like they know all my songs. Like they hear them that many times. Like they sing. I love it when I can, like I have a song that I've just like a couple of my new songs now, and I've just sort of been singing them. The kids really listen. Like you don't realize how much they listen to what you're playing in the background and stuff. And all of a sudden they're singing along. Like, oh geez, how do you know it? Like, but yeah, they do love it. But I think, like you said, they are very sort of, they are a bit blasé to it, I suppose. Like it's just another thing. It's what they know. Like they don't know any different.
Yeah, one day they'll grow up and realize how special it was having their very own musician in the house. But
yeah,
today is not that day.
No, that's right. That's exactly right. Yeah.
So your first single was Country Song. When did you write it?
Yeah, so my country song. It was well, sort of. I had a bit of help. I've been pretty lucky. I've got a cousin that he's an awesome artist as well, and he sort of reached out to me, and he helped me write this song. It was sort of towards the end of last year, sort of thing. Pretty much, well, just before I sort of went on Australian Idol, really, and yeah, wrote it then. He gave me a bit of a hand to write it and whatnot, and yeah.
And did you record it close to home?
We did actually. So it was recorded. So he lives down in Sydney himself. Actually, he had to come up there we spoke a lot on the phone about it and whatnot and ideas and everything. And then he was coming up to Gunnedah. He's originally from Gunnedah, and he come up and he came up to Tamworth. It was a country music festival. So yeah, it was recorded. It was actually recorded when the country music festival was on. Actually, sorry, he come up to Tamworth and we met up here. We ended up meeting me in Gunnedah, and we went to my my dad and stepmother's place, and we actually recorded it in their dad's wardrobe. Like we couldn't really get a studio, so it took me a bit to get all that out. Sorry, but we tried to get a studio and whatnot in Tamworth. They're obviously all booked out for the festival, and we said, right, why don't we just go somewhere in Gunnedah? I said, right, because so I decided to go to Dad's place, and he's like, well, we need a room. It's dead. Like we can't, like you don't want a room with acoustics or whatever and stuff. So we went into Dad's closet and pulled his clothes apart and set the microphone and everything up in front of it, like in between, probably it would have happened before, like by the sounds of it. But yeah. So that was a bit of a wild sort of story, but that's where it was recorded.
During the pandemic, I would interview some artists who were recording in their wardrobes. So obviously the wardrobes and the clothes, whatever they're doing to the sound absorb, that
it
works.
Really does. Like it just makes a dead sound. Like so it does work.
Having said that, would you choose the wardrobe recording again, or do you think you prefer a studio?
Oh well, the studio is pretty good too, I suppose. Like that was a good story, I suppose. But yeah, that second song I've recorded now, it was done in the studio, so yeah, which is better. But
So I'm just putting the timing together. You recorded My Country Song the Tamworth Country Music Festival this year.
That's right. Yeah.
The release date was in the first week of February. You did not muck around.
No, that's right. Yeah. It was flat out. We had a bit of a goal. We wanted to get it out and about fairly soon. So yeah. So we didn't muck around and made it happen.
That's right. You certainly did. So we've spoken about the writing of that song. Had you written many songs before that?
Not really. I sort of, like I said, I've always played covers and I've always wanted to write my own music, and it wasn't really until Anthony, my cousin, reached out to me and sort of helped me, because he's like, you need to have your own music. And so I know I really want to have my own music. It's so hard to write about. I find it a bit hard, you know. But it's so yeah. When I say that, there is an actual song that I have written before that, yes, and I've sort of only just finished it, and I've actually just finished recording it. So
Okay.
it's going to be the next one I release actually, but it's ready to go. So that song was actually before these two songs, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and also just in terms of writing, between running a property for kids and playing gigs, I think it's also time might be a factor for
That's
you.
right. Yeah. Yeah. I feel there's just so much always going on at the moment and everything. So yeah, it does. Yeah, that's right. Time is a big thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's just, and also time for your brain to work on it, I guess. When there's a lot going on, it's hard to have that
Yeah.
moment for you, just for ideas to come in.
Yep. No, that's exactly right. Yeah, you're constantly thinking about everything, what's going on through like on the farm and through the day and everything. You just don't seem to have time to think about writing music, but
Yeah.
it does come. It's just if you can get an idea and just jot it down or something like that,
Yeah.
does help. Yeah.
And
Mm.
now, one idea you did have is for your latest song, which is Old Dog, Old Ute, Old Hat. Now, let's start with the Ute. How many have you owned?
Oh, well, I've owned, actually, I'm on my second ute now. So this, well, when I say my old ute, so the actual old ute, my old ute it's actually my father-in-law's ute. He sort of
Right.
it's pretty much given it to me as a farm ute, and I class that as my old ute. Like,
Okay.
it's just a cracking old ute, but you could say 2.5 utes, I suppose, I've owned.
Now, I'm
Yeah.
aware that Australian ute owners have tribes. You know, there's the Ford, there's the Holden, there's
Yeah,
the
yep.
there's the Isuzu or whatever it is. What make and model do you have?
Nissan Navara. So
Oh, the Nissan was the one I did not mention.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's an old Nissan. Yeah, yeah.
And obviously standing the test of time. So there's a good plug for Nissan Utes.
That's
Old
it.
Ute lasted
Yeah,
well.
yeah. She's an oldie.
Yeah.
Mm.
Which is interesting, I think, because Toyota does seem to colonize country towns. Pretty much every country town I go through is like, there's another Toyota dealership.
Oh yeah, that's it. They've definitely got the name. Yeah,
Yeah.
not everyone, but anyhow, like you said, everyone's got their own little tribes, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah. So what brand of hat do you wear?
A Cuba. I got the old
Yeah.
Cuba Rough Rider. So that's the one I'm talking. Yeah, the one's in the song. So. Mm.
And that's been a lifelong use of the Akubra.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Well, I've actually probably had more hats than utes. So I've definitely had more hats than utes. So they
Well,
don't
that
they
makes
seem
sense.
to last forever with me. But anyway, this particular old hat, she would be probably one of the originals, I reckon. So
Well, I think farmers, those hats get a fair bit of wear. You're out in a lot of weather, so
yeah,
you
yep.
need a new hat from time to time.
Once they get rain on them, that's pretty well buggered them, sort of thing. They go floppy, but I mean, it makes them good when they go. That's when they are good. So yeah.
Now, you mentioned
Yeah.
a Kelpie in the song, but of course, the working dog could be a Blue Heeler or a Border Collie. So, what for you makes the Kelpie the winning breed?
Oh well, I suppose she's just she's just a. We have a lot of sheep and whatnot. We run a lot of sheep, and they're the sheepdog sort of thing, you know. And
Mm.
I just reckon, yeah, she's just a nice dog. She's a beautiful dog, good temperament, and a really good working dog. So yeah,
Yeah.
I reckon, yeah.
I guess for people who don't really know about working dogs, they are a worker on a farm. You know, they're a really invaluable part
Yeah.
of it. So I'd be interested just in hearing a little bit about how long you've had working dogs for, and how integral you think they are to your work.
Yeah, so well, pretty much, I could say that maybe the last, well, probably 5 or 6 years. So since we've sort of been running, like doing our own sort of part of the farming and whatnot, like that I'm doing at the moment. So my in-laws have always had working dogs. That's sort of where I've picked it up from. Like when I was a kid, I never really had much to do with working dogs, and it was only until I met my wife and her family, because they were the sheep farmers sort of thing, and they've got lots of my father-in-law's got, I think he's got about 6 or 7 dogs, and he's had working dogs his whole life, and it's sort of the last 5 or 6 years, like I said, and it's that I've had something to do with them, and yeah, they really are. It's you'd be lost without them, especially with your stock, like your livestock and that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's amazing. It's amazing seeing working dogs work, I've got to say.
Yeah, that's right. They really are bloody, like, they just thrive to work. They love it. They have to work. They can't just sit there, like, they go mad. So
And
yeah.
they, if you stand still, they will attempt to round you up, I've found.
Yeah, that's right. Or the chooks or something. They'll be round the chooks up or something else, or the kids, or yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway.
Um, People I know who have working dogs are really horrified at the idea of house dogs. Are you in that?
Yeah.
Like, you'd never let the dog in the house?
Oh, yeah, I'm not too bad with it. I probably rather, yeah, I don't go much on it really. And like my wife, she's a bit of a softie when it comes out. We've got a little house dog as well, I suppose you'd call him, like a little I think it's a Shih Tzu, Maltese Shih Tzu. I don't know what it is. It's like a long haired thing, and every now and then when he gets his hair trimmed or whatever, like Kayla, she's like, "No, we got to let him in. It's cold outside. He's going to come inside tonight." Oh, right then. Like, he's only been outside for however long now, like. Anyway, yeah,
Oh, well, there you go. You do have a house dog, so that's all right.
yeah,
So I don't think I asked you when you wrote this song, though. We've talked about My Country Song, but not you writing this song.
yeah. So it was when did we write? So actually, I had help. So I had help from Anthony as well, writing this one as well. He helped me out. Same sort of thing. We're on the phone, back and forwards on the phone. And yeah, it was maybe probably about 2 months ago now. Really, we sort of come up with this one. Yeah, and then I actually got to go down to Sydney this time and record it. I actually went down to Michael Carpenter.
Oh, yeah.
So he produced the music for My Country Song, and he's done the same for this song as well. And yeah, he helped me record this one. So I went down to his studio and recorded and whatnot. But it was it wasn't as rushed sort of thing. I sort of felt like I've done a bit more by the book this time. So yeah.
How did you come across him to work with?
Well, through Anthony. So like I said, he's been incredible. Like, he's really helped me push to get my own music, and he's sort of given me the contacts and whatnot. And yeah, that's how I got to know Michael. So yeah, he's a top fella. He's bloody unreal at what he does too.
He certainly is. Yeah, he's a real powerhouse. So if you want to continue working with him, I think you'll be in really good hands. But
yeah,
I'm
definitely.
wondering, have you had people telling you about their dogs, utes, and hats since you've released this song?
Yeah, I suppose you could say that. Yeah, I spoke to I'd never really sort of thought of it. Like, I spoke to a radio station out Moree. I know Greg Henry at the radio station. I know him pretty well. You know, he reached out to me, and he just sort of brought it to my attention. Like, he said, "Well, I've got an old ute, and I've got an old dog, and I've got an old hat." So he said it really relates to me. I thought, "Oh, that's good. That's sort of what I was after." So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I would imagine that from now on, at least you probably will find people either sending you messages or coming up to you and saying, "Oh, yeah," because people like to talk about dogs in particular and their utes. What am I saying?
Yeah, and it's sort of like the idea behind the song. Like, it's definitely the dog, the ute, and the hat, but it's sort of just to like make you realise it's what the things are that sort of get you through in life. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be your dog or your hat. Like, it's just whatever you might have that really means a lot to you that gets you through in life. That was sort of the idea of the song. So yeah.
And it is very much that idea that what's new and shiny isn't necessarily great.
That's
and
right. Yeah,
it's good to have reliable things, and also to
exactly right.
Really, I think that what comes through in the song for me is that appreciation for what you have. It's I don't want to say it's a gratitude practice, that's a bit newfangled, but that idea that it is important to be grateful for what you have.
That's exactly right. Couldn't have said it better, really.
So you said you've recorded this third song. Are you looking ahead and thinking about planning some more recording and writing?
Yes, definitely. Yep. Yeah, so I've got this one. She's ready to go. I've got it in my hand, ready to go. But they're definitely in the process now of writing a bit more music and getting it all happening. So,
I mean, for you as an emerging artist, which is technically what you are with 2 songs released, because you do have a very full life, and this is a whole different industry to what you're used to. So
that's right. Yeah.
has it been a little I suppose it's at the very least interesting getting your head around how music works, but also just the timing of
Yes.
releases now, because it's not like, oh, I'll just put a single out and it'll go to radio. You've got to think about that timing for streaming and all sorts of things. So how have you
Yeah.
gone about learning that?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna keep sort of going back to Anthony and my cousin. Like he's helped me a lot there, and then actually, I've reached out to quite a few different people, and like everyone's just been sort of so helpful. Like just sort of telling me whenever I've got a question. Like even like Michael, like he's always saying, whenever you have a question, just let me know, and I'll answer it. Just he said I mightn't answer it straight away, but he said I'll definitely answer it. Like there's just so many people that they just want to sort of help, and that's sort of how I've learned it. Like I'm still learning. Like I feel like I really don't know a lot still, but I'm still definitely learning. I really want to keep learning because I love doing it. So
Right.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
and would be a great balance to what you do as your day job, except farming's not ever really a day job. When it's on, it's an 18-hour, 19-hour, 20-hour a day job.
that's exactly right. Yep, 100%. So yeah, but I'm very lucky, like in my situation, because it's not just me. I've got quite a lot of family around me that like we all sort of get in and do a bit and support. Like like when there's things, obviously when it's harvest or whatever, we all have to get in and hook in and make sure that's priority. But yeah, I am very lucky with my situation. Yeah.
And I would imagine that, yeah, picking up the guitar and singing for like 10, 15 minutes is actually a really good way to unwind.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yes, usually once the kids go to bed, it's sort of my time sort of thing. I can go and sit down and just pick the guitar up, like you said, and you can just unwind with everything for the day, and then off to bed after that. So yeah.
Do the kids ask you to sing them lullabies?
Not really. I don't. I've
Hmm.
never. Yeah, I just sort of sing them anything. They don't really. They I don't even know if they really know a lullaby. Like they'll ask for my song. Really, they'll usually
Oh,
ask, if I can sing their song. Or I remember my oldest boy. He used to love singing "Country Roads" when he was like in nappies. He's my oldest boy. He's 5 now. So
okay.
yeah, he's sort of forgotten how to sing my country roads sort of thing. But yeah, lullabies is probably not really their thing, I suppose.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
probably just
yeah,
as well since they've got you there to sing to them. So you've got
yeah,
who are 4 under the age of 5, basically, or 4 or 5 and under, I should say. That's a
that's right.
packed schedule, Sam. It's a
Yeah,
very packed
yeah.
schedule.
Yes, yeah, yes. No, they're all little munchkins at the moment.
Yeah. Oh, that's fun.
Keep you busy.
They're a little team together.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they all.
And some little backup singers for you, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. They definitely got potential. Yeah, I reckon they all love to have a sing. So
Yeah, fantastic.
sing and a dance, and we often have dance parties in the lounge room and get the guitar out and the lights and stuff, and they think it's great.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, and they're probably yet another generation of Australian children who will listen to the Wiggles, and you in turn will get sick of the Wiggles.
Yeah, probably. No doubt.
But or maybe you'll end up writing your own children's music. Who knows?
Who knows? That's right.
Yeah.
Anything
But for
could
the
happen.
moment, I should let you go because between your long working day and your 4 children, I wouldn't mind betting you're quite tired. So
Yeah, yeah. No, well, good. Thank you.
your latest song is Old Dog, Old Ute, Old Hat, and people can find it on streaming services, and there'll be new music soon. Sam, great to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sophie. Thanks for your time.